You've probably seen this play out. A coworker says something that doesn't fully make sense, and still people go along with it. No one really questions it. Then, a little later, someone else explains it better, clearer, more complete. And suddenly, everything becomes harder. More questions, more hesitation. That's when it starts to feel off. The shift isn't in the idea, it's in the person behind it. The ones moving ahead aren't always adding more. They seem to sense what will be accepted before it's even discussed. They stay close to that line. They don't bring in uncertainty. They move with what already feels decided. When decisions begin to form, their voice is already there. It fits in early. It doesn't need room to be made for it. Like succession, where timing agreement matters more than being right. And once that pattern starts, attention follows it. Now watch what happens next. A manager asks for input on a project direction. You walk through the risks, point out gaps, suggest a better approach. The room pauses. Then someone else speaks. They repeat the direction the manager hinted at earlier. Add a small improvement. Keep the tone steady. The manager nods. That makes sense. And just like that, the direction is locked. Same discussion, different outcome. No one calls it out. This is where confusion builds. Nothing is obviously missing. You start adjusting how you present. Shorter points, cleaner logic, less friction in how it sounds. Still, the gap remains. Meanwhile, someone else keeps getting pulled into decisions, even when their ideas feel familiar. So, what is actually being evaluated? It doesn't track with performance. From the outside, it starts to look like flattery is winning. That's only the surface. What actually moves people forward is harder to notice. They make decisions easier to go through. If an idea supports the direction already forming, it moves easily. If it disrupts that direction, even slightly, it slows things down. In environments where decisions carry pressure, speed takes priority. And this is where the logic bends a little. Accuracy doesn't disappear, it just loses the race. Because the system isn't comparing ideas side by side, it's following whichever one creates the least resistance in the moment. The system doesn't reward the best idea, it rewards the easiest agreement. That's why strong work can sit still. Not because it lacks quality, but because it changes the direction just enough to create hesitation. Some people recognize this without explaining it. They adjust how they enter the conversation, closer to where things are already heading. Their ideas pass through cleanly. Others stay focused on improving the work itself, but the work still needs a path upward. Without that, it stays where it started. Two people can operate at the same level, yet move through entirely different outcomes. And this is where it turns uncomfortable. Once someone becomes easy to agree with, they stop being tested. Their ideas face less resistance. Gaps become harder to notice. Their influence keeps expanding. The system doesn't just reward alignment, it begins to protect it. And eventually, another question starts to form. What happens to performance when the people trusted the most are no longer being challenged? Or maybe the better question is, was performance ever the thing being selected in the first place?